just want to say get well, Brook. We're wishing you all the best from the UK.
Get better soon, Brook.
Get better soon, Brook. Get out of that hospital.
Hey Brook, I really hope you get better, man. And I miss seeing you on Wings of Redemption's videos. I hope you're okay.
Hey Brook, I miss seeing you on Jordy's videos, man. Get well soon.
Get well soon, Brook. Hope you're okay.
Hey Brook, big fan of you, big fan of Wings. Sorry to hear that you're in the hospital. Hope you're feeling better soon. You got a great support system there with Wings. Wings is a good guy.
I've missed seeing you around, Brook. I hope you feel better soon.
Coming at you from Illinois, man. Get well soon.
Brook, hope you get well. I love you. Miss you.
What's up, Brook? I've seen your Wings videos a few times and I think you're a great guy, so just know we're here for you, buddy.
Hey Brook, hope you're doing well.
We all miss you, Brook, and we hope you get well soon, bud.
And this is a message to Brook. Brook, I know you're feeling down right now, man. And I've heard that one thing that makes a sickness feel better is the child's laughter. So?
Someday you will join us, and the world will be as one.
Hello. It's been a while since I've talked to you guys, and I contemplated doing this on camera, but I really don't want this to sound wrong. I want this to sound, it's kind of a cop-out. I want this to sound like it should, and I can't guarantee that in front of a camera. It's been about a month since I've uploaded a video. Well, not counting Brook's video. But Brook's video was something I wanted to do. And, you know, when you want to do something, it's a lot easier to put forth the effort, because the idea behind Brook's video, which couldn't have came into effect without you guys, was to take a man that has nothing, and Brook has as close to nothing as any man on this earth will ever have. He doesn't have family that loves him. My grandmother's not very nice to him. But he has no place to go. I mean, if Grandma wanted to kick him out, Brook would be homeless. And his one love in life, which was alcohol abuse, has him in the hospital. And he's still alive today as I record this. It's 5:34 a.m., so he's still alive. And he was recently in like a clean area, and so because he was so prone to infection, only certain people were allowed in that area. So I wasn't on that list. I did send somebody in with a camera that had to be cleaned and had to be, you know, go through the whole system and check. And then they didn't focus the video, so the video turned out very poorly. I don't know if I'm going to show it, but if I do show it, I'll show a little bit of the footage over this part of the commentary. This is going to be a long one, so I might break this up in a couple parts. Where am I at? Where's the walks at? What happened? Where you at? You just disappeared on us. A lot of people do what I just did and never come back to YouTube. And my original idea was to do just that. Never come back. But what happened, I forgot what day it was. I think it was the 20th of September. I think the 20th of September. I think that was the last day I walked. And I got a mile in and I was doing my second mile. And I gave up on the second mile. And it crushed me. I just couldn't do it no more. And like, I don't want this video to sound like I'm blaming everybody else for my problems. I created my problems. But a lot of things don't help. Last couple years, I've not been what you call a steadfast and strong person. A lot of people seem to think I quit things more than I should. And for some reason they keep lumping in the boot camp as I quit, which I did the entire boot camp. But I spent the last year of my life from November 1st to now, which is just about a year, because I went to Kyle's house I went to October 20th, which was right about now. It's right about a year. It was either the 20th or 22nd. At this point last year, I was on my way to Kyle's house, and I was 442 pounds, and I think I'm like 425 now. My lowest weight I got to was, I think, 392, and that was with Drew. But I never really had weight loss success after leaving Kyle's house. And it's from a bunch of different portions. It's mainly from myself. I battle and deal with eating addiction through boredom. I'm not a very fun person. Anybody that's ever hung out with me or been my friend or even attempted to be my friend will let you know that I don't talk to people. Even Kelly has known me damn near 12 years. I met Kelly in 9th grade, high school. He's known me 12 years probably, and I ignore his texts. Like, it took him something like 2.5 weeks to even get in touch with me. I remember he texted me on like everybody's phone that there was, and it's just like, my defense mechanism in myself is to shut down. When things are hard, I shut down. That is my main flaw in life. That is what's going to kill me in life. And you think, well, change it. It's hard to change that defense flaw, because like when you think about changing it, it overwhelms you and you want to quit. The only way that defense flaw goes away is success. When I'm having success, my work ethic is unequal. And I think my first couple years on YouTube should show that. I didn't let anything hold me down, because I've had a rocky, time on YouTube, to say the least. My time on YouTube started out really well. I don't want to sit here and give a whole speech about it, but I started out with Z7 Taylor, and Z7 gave me a shout out. I had 1,000 subs, and then Modern Warfare 2 came out, and I was slowly gaining subs. I wasn't gaining a lot, but speaking in a situation that Machinima had just launched, and I wasn't one of the first Machinima directors. I was actually the second wave. People like Hutch, Blame Truth, all those guys were the first. And Hutch put a video on YouTube, and I disagreed with it 100%. I made a video telling the people that watch my videos, which was like 800 people or something. It wasn't very much, to just disregard it, and that caused a lot of drama. And a lot of people says that drama made my channel, which it didn't make my channel. It helped, it did, but what made my channel was the millions upon millions of views I got from Machinima over the next 6 months, because at the time we got paid every 6 months by Machinima. So it was in your best interest to load up as many views as possible, and you just get one big paycheck every 6 months. So you got paid twice a year. Later on, it came in once a month. It's been once a month ever since. But those first couple years were, in my opinion, a defining point of me, because I was dealing with the stress and people with the death threats and the negative video ratios and blah, 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 blah. And the only thing I could think of during that period of my time was, I'm going to make this shit. I'm going to be a success. My goal was to convert every person that came to my video to hate over to a Wings of Redemption fan. That was my goal, and it worked. I couldn't do that today. I couldn't do that today if I wanted to, and it troubles me to my core, if that happened today, it would send me to a place that was just so dark and depressing that Manos himself would just, just be afraid of going there. And it troubles me because I'm a better person today than I was 6 years ago. I'm better at editing, I'm better at video making, I'm better at speaking, my audio quality's better, my gameplay footage is better, which coincidentally I'm not even using my gameplay footage for this because I haven't really played anything but Dark Souls in the last month. A little bit of Battlefield, but I don't have much footage of it. Everything I can do now, I can do much better than I did back then. The big difference between then and now is back then I didn't give a shit. I honestly didn't. I didn't care about the quality of the gameplay. I didn't care about this. All I cared about was interacting with fans. That's all I wanted to do. I remember in my World at War days, which was, in my opinion, the funnest, or the most fun. I know some people like the word funnest. It's not a word. The most fun I had was that initial thing, doing the Rifleman's Creed with like the bar and uploading all my flawless gameplays, and people looked at your videos and they accepted them. They didn't look at videos as a waste of time. But why am I talking? Let's just flash forward. There's going to be a lot of pointing fingers in this video, if you obviously can tell, and please don't point it out in the comment section, dude. It's so annoying. I'm just looking at things from my perspective, and yes, I fucked up. I fucked up a lot, and like right now, I don't even know if I can climb out of my fuck-ups. That's where I'm at, because like, I'm not sure I want to do YouTube full-time anymore, but in the end of the road, I'm not sure I have any choice but to do YouTube. I feel like I'm almost trapped in a circle of never-ending mediocrity. And like right now, I'm in the horror zone for myself. What is that? I'm at the point where I'm up all night. I sleep most of the day. I don't really get too much human contact. I think I see nobody. Like I literally, it's been almost 2 days since I've seen another person that was awake, and it doesn't help depression at all. But I've also going through the most depressing period of my life because it's been a year, and like I had this was supposed to be my year. This was the year I was going to lose the weight. This was the year that I was gonna. I honestly, the way I had it planned in my head, that this time this year, I was gonna be about 260 pounds, and I was gonna be trying to raise money to get a surgery to get 40 pounds cut off of me of loose skin. That's where I thought I'd be at this point. At this year, a year later, and a year later I'm 20 pounds lighter, but you could look at it as a success, but I look at it as a failure because I've gained like 20 pounds in the last month, because I was like 408 and 410 on November 28, and I'm probably like 420 now, so I've gained like 12 pounds or something like that. That's a lot of weight to gain in a month, and it's just my coping mechanism. Like when I'm sitting here lonely, I'm sitting here depressed, and I don't know. And like people like depression, and like there's videos out there floating around of me saying that beating depression is easy, and like I still hold true to that. It is easy to beat depression, but you gotta understand that it's easier to say to beat depression than actually dealing with it, because like when you're full on depressed, it's like you're sitting in a vast ocean of problems, and all these problems come from every direction. You're getting tired because you're tired of swimming. The salt water's got in your mouth. You're starting to dehydrate. The sun's burning your forehead and the skin. The water is starting to make your skin prune. You got sharks swimming around you. You're losing all hope for life and lifelessness. It's like a big vast ocean of problems, and you feel like it's going to consume you. And every day, the only time that you're actually happy is when you're sleeping. Just today, I set my alarm for 9 a.m. I went to bed at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I slept my alarm at 9 a.m. I ended up laying in bed till 5 p.m. 5 p.m. I didn't sleep. I just laid there. I tried to go to sleep, rolled over. daydreamed, thought about stuff. Had no reason to get out of bed because in bed, I don't hurt. In bed, the problems go away. But in bed isn't going to help anything. And like, over the last week or so, well, 2 weeks, I've had a couple epiphanies. And those epiphanies are, one, that I wanted to live. That's a main one. And that one mainly came from being injected back into social media. My buddy Kelly finally decided to get a D&D group together. I've been wanting to play Dungeons and Dragons for about 5 years now, and we talked about it a couple times of doing it in real life when Kelly was here, but we decided to do it online, and it's a blast. It is. I look forward to it. We've had 3 sessions now, and I look forward to it each week. And I sound like a little kid. It's because I am. I'm a little kid at heart. But the other epiphany is that Brook is dying. And I'm going to be real here. Brook's going to die. The day might not be set in stone, but the wheels are already turning. And as a friend of Brook's, I mean, I've put myself in a serious financial bind, not working this last 30 days or so. And it's not a bind that I can't get out of, but it's a financial bind. I don't know if I can get out of it, but it's complicated because like it all depends on if I can motivate myself to, in November, just kick it in the balls and work and do good and get back to the way things used to be. But you know, part of me is doubting that'll ever get back to that point again, because I don't know. I guess I have too many high expectations from living in the past when things came so much easier. But Brook's dying, and the wheels are already turning on that. And the part of me wants to take like some money out the bank and just take him out and give him, a day of the lifetime. Take him to, take him to a race, and then after the race, take him to like a strip club or something. But part of me knows that he's probably too sick to do any of that. And he's most likely going to die in the chair over there, and I'll most likely have to haul the chair off because they won't want the chair anymore. So it'll end up in a dumpster or burnt. That's probably what I would do with it. I'd probably burn it. Kind of like a Viking funeral pyre. So, walks. I don't know if I'm starting the walks back. I don't know if I'm starting the weight loss back. Part of me wants to lose weight. I honestly do. I want to lose weight with all my heart. And you say that there's going to be somebody that says I'm lying up to you. I'm not lying to you, dude. I hate being fat. But I can't beat the addiction by myself. I can't do it. I've tried doing it with help. The only time I've ever been successful losing weight was at Kyle's house and when I was on a pill called Fetramine. And I don't want to be a burden to anybody. And like, it hurts me to my core to think about all the people that donated money, and I failed them. I did. And like, I don't feel good about failing you. I didn't want to fail you. I seriously didn't. I wanted to be a different person at this point. I did not want to be this Jordy. I feel like, and then there's disappointment. Like, I let myself get to the point where life has gone downhill to the point that I'm going to be interjected back into society doing whatever I possibly can do. Beggars can't be choosers. And, like, I am not exactly prime candidate for being hired by anyone. I can probably put together a good enough resume to get an interview. But I don't know if I could put the face on at this point in my life to be happy enough to get it. I know all the tricks and how to get people and how to rule them, how to win them over and things like that. And I'm a very likable person. For the most part, I'm a pretty likable guy. But I don't have to constantly do things I don't like doing. But I'm not 22 anymore. I think the last time I did I was 24. Sorry, 23. I was 23 last time I worked a physical labor job, and I can't do another physical labor job. My body is slowly deteriorating on itself, and like even if I went at the peak of my walks, I probably couldn't do a physical labor job. I remember helping do the floor in the house and getting up and thinking, man, I couldn't do this 6 days a week or 5 days a week. I couldn't do it. Like, I literally would have to quit because I was destroyed for a week afterwards. And that was when I was in good shape. Well, somewhat good shape. I hadn't lost it. And now I feel my back deteriorating every day, and it scares me. So part of me wants to start the day off and go out and try to eat right. I think eating is the main thing. The exercise can come and go. Even when I talk to Drew, the exercise could come and go. Because he's seen in myself that I could do the exercises, and I did do the exercises. I might not have did everything that Kyle wanted me to do, or could do everything Kyle wanted me to do. I might not have did everything Drew wanted me to do, but the fact is, when I went in there, I gave my all. And just like with the walks, I walked 2 to 3 miles every day for almost 3 months. There was 87 days or something like that. That's 3 days out from 3 months in a row walking 3 miles a day at over 400 pounds. Exercise I can do. It's the weight. It's the eating. And like, I don't know. I think my life is just in a mess right now. It's a jumble. I don't know. Like I said, I feel like I'm swaying on the ocean and I don't know what to do. So my number one instinct is to do nothing, which doing nothing means you drown. And that's what I've been doing for the last month. I've been drowning. And I still don't know what to do. Me doing this video is not a milestone. I'm just as clueless right now as I was on November 21st. The only difference between November 21st and right now is I want to be around to play Dungeons and Dragons. I want to play Dragon Age Inquisition. I want to go and pick somebody up that's had a bad day. I want to pull people out of trouble. I want to help people move furniture. I just don't want to be sitting in this chair until I can't get up from this chair. But I promised you guys a video on the 20th. So I said 15th or 20th, but I got it on the 20th. And sorry it's not a cheery video, but it's where I'm at right now. I have no delusions that my channel's going to turn around, and there's no filter or scheme that is going to change anything. And I feel being real is the best way to do things. And I know people don't watch YouTube to hear this depressed jargon and stuff, but it is what it is, dude.
Oh my.
made the last payment last month. Super couches. Well, another plus. $16.40. This is how much I overpaid on my taxes from 2011. They're finally paid off. And got a check from Full Screen. So we got to put that in the bank too. I wanted to discuss a couple things before we get too far into this. This first week is going to be mainly... It's not going to be like super healthy. This first week is mainly to kind of curb my sugar and to try to just get me by. I don't know what I'm going to eat. I don't know what kind of budget I'm on. I got like I think I got $200 in my pocket, I think, and various bills. So hopefully going to be under. Let's talk about mental health. It's kind of been a lot of people's opinion that I'm some reason mentally unstable. Dude, I'm not mentally unstable at all. I'm just a guy that's stressed out, that doesn't know how to deal with it. Career mental health. In high school, I used to go to a counselor by the name of Damien Duray. And Damien had me on this thing called Paxil. And I also went and seen another psychiatrist or counselor from the school's opinion up at, God, I forgot the name of the place. It's up there by the Horry Georgetown Tech. Something Bureau of Mental Health, whatever. It was this little short woman. I don't know. She was weird. And, yeah, so the therapy had me see there, and I was on Paxil for a while. I was diagnosed with a thing called social phobia. I don't know the technical term for it, but basically I was afraid of being around people. And this was mainly because I was always by myself or an loner type. And as time progressed, I got more and more into talking with people. I think getting into the workforce was like a huge system shock to me. And I kind of slowly molded into somebody. And it was also a great deal of why I didn't get a girlfriend until so late. It's because I was afraid to talk to people. I was afraid I'd have these panic attacks when I was around large groups of people. And every now and then it kind of sneaks in. Like today, for example, the reason I'm telling you this story is like when I go to the grocery store by myself and I don't have anybody else to converse with, I much rather listen to like music from on my iPod while I'm sitting there shopping, so I can kind of block out everybody else. And it's kind of strange what I ended up doing for 6 years with something like that, but I don't have social phobia anymore full blown. Like I don't have panic attacks when I'm around, groups of people, obviously going to things like the GameStop and obviously going through stuff like airports and things of that nature. It doesn't bother me to be around people anymore, but like there's just little hints of it left. Like I don't like doing things by myself. I don't particularly like working a job where I'm by myself, which is kind of funny that I work a job that's mainly centered around entertaining other people, and I do it by myself. Yeah, this could be interesting. The truck had a weak crank at the bank, but it cranked up. I'm not sure if it's going to crank up again, so let's try it. That's not good. Sounds like the starter. I don't think that's the battery. No, it's not the battery. Everything's coming on perfectly. Might be the fuel pump. Let's start. let's go and shop and deal with it once we come out. Well, we got home and deciphered that the battery is the culprit. I've been needing a new battery regardless because this side is stripped. So we hooked my brother's truck up to it, and it fired right up. So we're just gonna have to change the battery. So yeah, was that 10 millimeter? Ever change battery in a truck? Take the bar off 10 millimeter, 8 millimeter on the damn battery itself. Get a side post. So we're on our way to the parts store now. Chilling out. Got to pick up our test or some bullshit as well. So I don't know. I'll get around to the food here in a minute. All right, guys. It's been a hectic day. Batteries in, 113 bucks. What I ended up getting some Tropicana orange juice, mainly because with this I'm going to be shutting down soda. So with this I'll be shutting down soda, so I like to have something that tastes different. I also got some pack of weenies. I will be eating these by themselves. I usually put mustard on, and mustard has nothing. I also got some classic dill pickles and some mustard and some turkey pepperoni. I didn't really grab that much the first time through. I did get a couple big Hungry Man dinners. That was mainly to help wean me off and just have me get me through the day, because I've been going through sugar withdrawals. And I got a little bit of everything soup-wise. I got some chicken noodle soup, even though Kitty hates chicken noodle soup. I got some chicken noodle soup, even though Kitty hates chicken noodle soup. I got tomato. Tried this with Mexican-style chicken tortellini. I mean, the idea is not to eat healthy this first week. The idea is to not eat fast food. And this is 120 calories per half cup. So this whole thing's like 300 calories. There's tomato. Whole thing tomato is like 200 calories. And then I got this. This is something that kind of just fills you up. This is buttered succotash. This is 300 calories a can. And like I've had this before, it really fills me up. I bought 5 cans of this, as you can see. I mean, these aren't just sitting in here. I actually went to the grocery store. My mother just put most of the food away because we had to change my sister's air filter, and I had to go get a battery for my truck. My brother and we all did that, so that's the food. I am terribly sleepy right now, and sorry if I feel like I'm rushing these videos, or this video. I'm really not. It's like, oh, Wings getting on the weight loss train again. This is more of an experiment than a weight loss train, to be perfectly honest. It's at the point where my weight is at the point where it affects me from actually gaining skills. So that is pretty much the first step to me regaining my life, is to find some way I can change my life. And like, I'm just experimenting right now. The goal this week is not to eat fast food. So I'm going to try to make sure that no fast food whatsoever. And like, I don't know, I haven't thought about it in deep detail yet. So I got to figure out how to kind of like keep myself. Maybe there's an app or something. Maybe you guys know that. But I want to talk about one other thing as well, because I don't want this whole video centered around that. You know, this week Brandy, I don't know if you guys remember Brandy, but Brandy was my last girlfriend. She basically went into a relationship with another guy, and it's like, man, that shit sucks, dude. As you can see my luck firsthand, like if I didn't have bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Jordan family motto. I mean, that's dead serious. That's the Jordan family motto. My buddy Kelly, his family motto is a little bit cooler than ours. His motto is, you know, so far behind, I thought I was first. So that's a cool family motto too. But like, man, our family motto is if didn't have bad luck, would have no luck at all. Like I said, you know, Brook actually looks pretty damn good right now. I should have put him in this video. But even then, like, dude, every time Brook goes in there to have that infection drawn out of his body, something happens. He's had a kidney fail. This time his liver and his kidney failed, and his heart did something. I don't know. I have to have him explain it to you. I'll probably do that tomorrow. But it sucks watching ex-girlfriends, especially ones you didn't really break up with. Me and Brandy didn't really break up. What we did was kind of went our separate ways. She got stuck with her sister's kid. Like, her sister went crazy. Like, literally, her sister was like this stripper that was like having sex with her clients on the side for money. And then she hated the person she was living with. So what happened is she got in a fight with the person she was living with. Cops sent her to the hospital committed her to a psychiatric ward. And then she had to go to like this, she had to go like through a month evaluation in a psych ward. And then she came out to like a halfway house where she had to kind of like live and work at the same place. And all this time, Brandy got dumped with her kid. And Brandy wasn't really good with finances to begin with. And Randy's horrible with finances. You think I'm bad? I just don't make a whole lot of fucking money. I mean, I don't, you know, fucking just go out there and be like, woo, buy out the bar. I've just never been that kind of person. But Brandy just takes on way too much. And she's got that girl mentality, you know, that mentality of like, ooh, this is cute, let me buy this. And she has that. But it sucks so bad to see, like, it's like, motherfucker, this guy. It hurts, dude, it does. And like, I don't know. Life sucks, then you die, you know what I'm saying? But tell me if you like these videos. Tell me if you want to see more of these. And if you have an app or something that could keep me accountable, please, all means, leave me a thing in the comment section. I'll probably be sleeping when this video goes up because it is like 2 o'clock right now. And I usually am in the bed by 10, so I don't know. But I'll see you guys a little bit later. Thank you guys for watching my videos. Well, hello everybody, it's your boy Jordy Jordan. I'm here to bring you another video today for Modern Warfare 3. What the hell am I doing? Is this me playing? Yes, there's no name in the top right hand of the screen. Did Jordy actually get on and play Modern Warfare 3? Yes, I did. I did get on there and play Modern Warfare 3. But today's video is not about the gameplay you see on screen, even though the gameplay you see on screen is a fucking immaculate gameplay. It's probably a couple of immaculate gameplays. Perfectly precision gameplays, and how every first-person shooter should be tactically and tactfully done. But arrogance aside, today I want to talk about PKN number 11. For those of you who are unaware what PKN is, Painkiller Nearly, and they do this basically as a Patreon thing. They give you an extra hour of PKA. It's usually just Woody and Kyle just hanging out talking. It's a little bit more relaxed with a, you know, a more relaxed setting, smaller panda topics. It's essentially the pre-show from the live. We used to do Painkiller Ready live, and we'd have a post and pre-show, and people really enjoyed those, and I think that kind of stayed in the same vein. And I sat here this morning. It is currently 7:05 a.m. I sat here probably from 4:30 to 7:05 a.m. messing with my camera, hoping to get something achieved in the way of trying to defend myself from Woody and Kyle in PKA in number 11. To kind of make a long story short, I'll give you 3 bullet points that they kind of hit on, and they really were talking about me and where I'm at in life right now. And that was give him your money, drain on society, and what was that last bullet point? Sorry about this. Unprofessional. Wings is an asshole. That's the 3 bullet points I kind of summed up the 35-minute conversation they had about me. And I sat here with my camera, and I fiddled with it. I tried to replace the battery and things of that nature. And what I ended up doing is I ended up being like, wow, kind of right. Most of the things they said were pretty much spot on. And I am kind of an asshole. I literally am. I like to consider myself like an asshole with a heart of gold. I have tendencies that are very likable about me. I have ways that are very likable about me, but I have ways that are very assholic about me. And anybody that's came to one of my live streams or played with me in a losing COD game, they'll see these asshole things very firsthand. But as a human, I try to be a non-asshole. I don't like bullying. I don't like trolling. I don't like making fun of people just to make fun of people. And if I do make fun of people, it's generally based around their inability to play a game and not their sexuality or anything of that nature, or their creed or their skin color. That's usually just not me. I'm not going to say I limit myself. I mean, and I've never made fun of somebody from their creed, base, creed, or think of, but usually they have it coming, and usually I'm upset in some form or way, and I don't do it on, and then it is what it is. And so I sat here, I tried to rationalize, and I went over and over again. I did a video, I recorded on the camera, and I tried to do this thing in front of the camera 100%. And at the end of the day, I'm like, it's not really worth it, dude. They're right about most of the things they're actually talking about. I'm not a drain on society yet, but if I don't get my act together, I will be. I mean, yet is the key word there. It's going to happen. That is, it's going to play out just like that, and that is the reality of the situation. And I don't want that, and I don't really want your money either. I mean, like, I appreciate everybody that donates or has donated or willing to donate money. I love you guys to death, but at the end of the day, I don't feel good about myself. That's why I don't feel good about donations. That's why I took it so hard with the donations that were given from the FPS boot camp. I really, really, really want to succeed in that. I did with all my heart. The Walking 365 was my way of continuing to succeed, and continuing to attempt to succeed. And, you know, again, it turned out failure. You know, it gave me a reputation of being a quitter. And everything they said was right. And, like, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be a drain on society. I don't want to be a person that has no social skills or apparatus. I don't want to be a guy that's living off his mother, which I can tell you right now that won't happen because my mother won't allow it. My mother's the type of person that if you're not paying your way, you're on the fucking street, son. You're out. I mean, well, at least she's that way with me. And that's another thing that's got me terrified, because I don't want to be in that situation where it's like, you know, I'm broke. I can't pay the bills this month. I need you to pick up the slack. Dude, I'd rather kill myself than do that. I literally would. And I'm not saying this as a way to get attention. I'm not saying this. That was the conclusion I came to when I first stated that thing on a live stream. Is, yeah, I'd rather be that point than have to rely on my mother to pay my way. It's just something I don't like to do. I'm a very prideful person in that aspect. I don't think I've ever had a girlfriend pay a way for a meal for me. It just doesn't happen. I mean, like, I don't know. Not built that way. But what I'm doing is not working. I think I said that on my very first video of my walks. And I kick myself every time that something fails. Because I look at it this way. I've lost 40 or 50 pounds probably 4 times in my life. That's 200 pounds of weight loss. That's what that is. I've done that. But the fact is, I've never done it in succession. I've never got to the point where I was like, yeah, 50 pounds, let's go get 60. I usually start to slip around that ballpark. So I think it's almost written in stone that I've been a failure a bunch of times in my life. Hell, my life is almost a textbook written based on failure. And what I took from PK and 11 wasn't that, you know, they have some negative things to say about me, or they quote-unquote destroyed me in any way, shape, or form. What I took from that was mainly 2 things. One, it's just stuff that I knew myself and I hadn't vocalized. And 2, they really don't want to work with me again. I was always under the impression that the leave on PK was a temporary thing until the day where I feel like it's more of a permanent thing, that they really just don't want to work or be associated with me in any way, shape, or form, which is understandable. But it kind of bothers me at the same time, because PK is what it is. I mean, it's a podcast. Is a podcast all three of us created. It's a podcast that at any point in time we've all carried the torch of, and it is what it is. You know, PK aside, even if I never went back on PK, I always felt like I still had him as friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always felt like if I wanted to, I could call Woody or Kyle up and, you know, be like, "What's up, dog? I need your opinion on this." And like, the way they address things and how they worded things made me feel like I wasn't a part of their life anymore, if that makes sense. So you'd be like, well, how do you fix this kind of stuff? I don't... To be perfectly honest, like, I would think an apology would be the first thing that you'd probably go about by fixing this. But I honestly don't know how to apologize. That might sound strange, but I literally don't. I wouldn't even know what to apologize for at this point, because I don't know. As a person, I've always tried to be a friend that wasn't very needy. I never tried to use Kyle or use Woody, especially when they passed me. Like when they passed me as subscribers, I wasn't the type of guy that's like, "Hey, give me a shout out. Hey, do this for me. Hey, do that for me. Hey, can you pimp this video?" I didn't want to be that dude. Just like when I used to go to work at MetClass, I didn't want to be the dude people came into work loathing. I never wanted to be the guy where people would be like, "Shit, I gotta work with that fat fuck today." I always wanted to be the guy that's like, you see the smile on their face when they come in the door, just a happy, glowing smile. That, yeah, work sucks. I'm about to be here 8 to 12 hours. At least I get to hang out with this dude. You know. And that's the kind of person I strive to be in a work setting. I want to be the person people come to work wanting to hang out with. I don't want to be that person that I dreaded going to work with. And fuck, I got time. I'm gonna go for this rant. I used to work with a person named Anita, and it was one of my very first jobs, which was movie gallery. You know, renting in movies, cleaning shelves, things. You know, just a typical high school job. And I hated working with Anita. She was a clingy. She was a bitch. It was her way or the highway. You had to do everything a certain way. There was no joking or clowning around. Everything was politically correct. It created a horrible work environment. It wasn't a fun work environment. And you're like, well, work shouldn't be fun. Yeah, it should. I mean, life sucks too fucking much for work to suck ass to the maximum amount it's supposed to suck. Especially at a fucking $5 an hour job. And, you know, there's other people I enjoyed working with that made work fun. There was, like, Maggie, and then there was actually one of the boss men that I really liked to work with, and he literally liked to work with me, so he always put me with him. And we talked about Star Trek and things. We hung out, cleaned shelves. It was a fun environment. Shared the workload. That's the guy I wanted to be. And that's the guy I want to be on YouTube. But, you know, I'm an emotional wreck. I seriously am. You might struggle to find a person more emotionally fucked up than me. They're out there, but I like to call myself a functional depressant. Well, I'm not even functional anymore. I literally allowed it to beat me. And like, I used to be the kind of person that I wouldn't allow things to beat me, but it's beaten me. And like, I really didn't want to lose friends on all this. I didn't. I have strange coping mechanisms, and my strange coping mechanisms and the way I plan things out in my brain might seem like they're smart, but they're actually probably not. And I'm sorry for any turmoil I ever caused you. I'm not looking to get back on Painkiller Ready. I mean, everybody knew during that call that, you know, my tenure was pretty much over. I think in 176, I even said I was going to be the first to go because I knew in my heart, like, I was the most expendable. And it was for a number of things, mainly because I figured my channel would be the first one that would be to the point of unprofitable. And and that's where I figured it would always end up coming to. I'd have to go get a job, and it'd be hard to manage PK around me, especially with the type of job I'd probably have to go get would be either a driving job or a swing shift job based around the economy where I live at. And so I was perfect. I took to it perfectly fine. I didn't bitch and whine. I did the first night, but not anything after that. But mainly because, like, I don't try to want to put blame, but my life's been one big fucking shithole for the last 5 months. It's just nosedive, and I got to the point where I was like, fuck it, let it nosedive. I don't give a shit anymore. And yeah, I guess I can say sorry. But today I'm going to go to the grocery store. That's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to try to get two things. I'm going to try to make it so I don't go get McDonald's this entire week. My goal is not to eat out this entire week. And I don't know. I'm going to go to the grocery store today. And I'm going to do another video today about what I bought at the grocery store and why. And then I'm going to get in the comment section and I'm going to let everybody critique and criticize my choices, because I know they're going to be poor choices. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'll see you guys later. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Wings of Redemption, and I'm bringing you a little bit more Modern Warfare 3 gameplay here. Been playing a lot of Modern Warfare 3, mainly trying to prep myself for the upcoming Call of Duty game, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. And I figured this is the game that Sledgehammer worked on the most out of the series, and I figured this would be the most likely the best experience towards Advanced Warfare. I haven't had the chance to play Advanced Warfare at all. Hell, I barely looked up anything about Advanced Warfare, but I spent my morning doing a little research, a little homework. I spent about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes watching a couple videos. Watched a video from Polygon. I went over to the Modern Warfare side, went over to Kotaku and see what everybody was saying about it. Looked at the guns, looked at the kill streaks, and looked at a certain thing. So I want to just kind of touch base with what I'm feeling the game and how I'm feeling the game's going to play out, and how it's going to be different compared to something like you see on the TV screen right here. And keep in mind, everything I'm going to talk about is going to be talked about in my play style, which I think everybody knows at this point. I have a very campy play style. So with that being said, I want to talk about map flow. Map flow is the one thing I'm worried about the most in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, mainly because they're instituting a thing called double jump. And what will double jump actually do for the map? Well, I feel like double jump's going to do a couple things. One, it's going to make the game feel a lot more fast-paced, even if it's artificially fast-paced. What do I mean by artificially fast-paced? Stay with me here. If you're driving a car, I don't know how many of you guys out there drive, but if you drive or ride in a car and you pass things on the side of the road, let's take light poles for example, the distance the light poles are apart are generally about the same. So when you drive 30 miles an hour, you get a feeling that you're driving 30 miles an hour by stuff passing you on the scenery. And if they were to move the light poles and make more of them to half the distance, 30 miles an hour would suddenly feel a lot faster. It's part of relativity. And I feel like the fact that they give you so much more of movement and ability and control of your character now, it's going to make the game feel more fast-paced, even if it's an illusion of fast-paced. I don't know if that makes sense, but try to stay with me here. So I feel like that's a good thing. I feel like the double jump is going to be a good thing. I feel like the exosuit abilities, which I think recharge, I'm not sure. The videos I watched, the exosuits didn't recharge. I feel like, but even if they don't recharge and they're available for one life, I feel like they're going to be a great dynamic to the game as well. I'm not too sure about stealth, and the reason I'm saying this is because if the abilities do recharge, I can see stealth being a pain in the ass, especially with a guy like me. I mean, all right, just picture it. I'm up in a room. I got a claymore, bouncing Betty, or whatever, the IED or whatever the thing that people are going to rage at that sits around and creates a trap type of environment that's in the game. And say you get by all my defenses, and then all I do is I go to an opposite corner, I pop stealth, I sit in the corner and wait for you to run up pissed off because you died maybe once or twice to my IED, and then I just shoot you in the back. Yeah, there's probably going to be things that kind of counter this, and like I noticed one thing, there was like a grenade that would pop into a room, and that grenade would show you where everybody is in the room through the walls. And I know like there's certain things called like tracker bullets that's on the actual gun sight. If you shoot somebody for like 5 or 10 seconds, it'll show you them going through the walls and things of that nature. So there's counters to it, but how that's going to be implemented in game, I'm unaware. But I'm just picturing this in a basic Call of Duty setting, one I'm most familiar with. It'd be very easy for somebody to pop stealth and go sit in a corner waiting for you to come bum rush that room and then shoot you in the back. And I feel like that's going to happen even if there is great counters to it. I don't know how well the sound hoarding is. You can't really tell that by watching other people play. So I don't know how well that is. I know there's an exosuit ability that's essentially dead silence. So I'm going to assume that there's going to be some pretty good sound in the game itself, and everybody was on equal footing. And that 20 seconds of dead silence that you might get from your exosuit could be, the difference between life or death by rushing into a building. For example, let's say the building I'm in right now on this map, which I think is Lockdown. You run in there, people can't hear your footsteps for that 20 seconds, and you end up getting the kill. Or maybe you run up there and double jump into the window. Why I'm so worried about the double jump? I mean, I know it seems like I'm changing direction right here mid-conversation. Well, the reason I'm worried about that is the most important aspect of Call of Duty, the core of Call of Duty, or any first-person shooter, Battlefield, Brink, whatever, SOCOM, which is third person, but still is the actual map traffic flow. You can pretty much pick any map on the game, and you'll kind of realize where the traffic is. I mean, you'll pop into your head. Let's do a test right now. Let's talk about Modern Warfare 3. I'm going to say a map name. I'm going to give you 5 seconds, and I want you to tell me where the main traffic of that map is at. Village. You're right. The main traffic of that village is the white truck near the clinic. What about Mission? You're right. The main traffic of that one is the church near the back of the C flag, and these are based off Domination TDM. The main traffic in like Domination would actually be toward the middle of the mission map, but traffic and flow is what makes Call of Duty Call of Duty. Almost every map, and the map I always give an example of this is Rundown, which is because it's obvious, is a 3-lane map. You very rarely get any kind of maps other than the 3 lanes. Like for example, Lockdown here, you have this left side, which is the cages. You have the middle, which is the hallway, and you have the right side, which is the paint room. Then you have 2 buildings opposite of each other, and you kind of like shoot it out and have a gunfight. Well, when you add double jump into that mix, you open up so many different routes that it's going to be hard to contain, and it could break certain game modes like Domination, or make Domination almost so frustrating to play by yourself, it'd be literally impossible. Because they're not going to actually implement a skill-based matchmaking system. I remember when they tried to do it in Black Ops 2, and everybody cried about it. I love that motherfucker to death. I don't know if you guys remember in Black Ops 2, right toward the beginning of it, it was kind of unspoken, but you faced some hard-hitting motherfucking teams. Every time you logged on, you were fighting. Every match was a grudge fight. Every match was a dog fight, and it was great. I think that should be implemented and should stay in the game. I don't think full teams should be able to play sparked up parties. I think if you have a team of 5 or a team of 6, you should have to sit there and wait until you're teamed with a team of 5 or a team of 6, and that would make the game more fun for me, at least. Be able to face full teams the entire time and actually have like little rivalries and things going on. Because when I played Ghost, which was the last Call of Duty I played extensively, and a team would run up against my team, very rarely was we on the losing end. Matter of fact, I think I lost something like, hold on, let me just show you on the screen here. I think I lost very little. If track records keep saying it's going to be like 160 or 170 times. I think that's how much I annually lose in Call of Duty. And that's just coming from having a bunch of friends and always playing with a full party and things of that nature. Oh, and I've completely forgot about my get shit on icon. But as you notice right there, I got 9 days played in Call of Duty Ghost, where I had about 9 days played in Modern Warfare 3. I had about I think I have 12 days played in Black Ops 2. It's a far cry from Modern Warfare 2, where I had, I think, 38 days played. I think in Modern Warfare World at War, I had like 48 days played. Probably had 30 or some hour days played in Call of Duty 4. That's where I pretty much hone my craft. But regardless, besides this is a dick jerking session over my own personal stats that mean fucking dog shit nothing. I would welcome with open arms some type of skill-based matchmaking system that actually made the game playable for parties to face other parties. If you have a party of 2, you're only able to face other people with parties of 2. They don't stick to multiple parties of 2 on the same team. And it might slow the matchmaking down a little bit, but I think it would make a more enjoyable experience. How many people want to go into, say, a TDM setup and have to face me, Zombie, and the Mighty Jayhawk while they're just trying to learn the game? It's not fair. It's not a fair system. And I think I think it'd be more enjoyable even for like YouTube videos to see setups. Like if me, Zombie, and Mighty Jayhawk rolled into a TDM game, we gotta fight another party of 3 people plus some randoms. I think that would be the most fair setup system, but it won't be the one they ever use, mainly because Call of Duty is mainly known for its drop-in gameplay. Some things I'm kind of worried about, and I think I tried to discuss this video. I don't think I got around to it properly. Was I'm worried that the double jump is going to ruin map flow, and I'm worried that the double jump is going to ruin a lot of people's experience with Call of Duty and maybe even break the series. I think the double jump is going to be a make or break mechanic for the game itself, much more so than the exosuit or the Pick 13 system. And I'm also worried about the kill streaks being a part of the Pick 13 system and not given to you freely. How many less UAVs are there going to be because you got to put it on the kill streak kit than actually getting it for free? And I think UAVs are the key to making Call of Duty a good Call of Duty. And stealth perks and things of that nature are bad, and they naturally make Call of Duty games slower and more frustrating. But after playing Modern Warfare 3 for about 3 or 4 days now, I feel like the only problem with Modern Warfare 3 was the stealth kill streaks, Assassin, the portable radar. Both of those things really destroyed the flow of the map and made a fun game less fun because of it. But let me know, Shabunny Boy, Wings of Redemption, what do you guys think about it? And yeah, what would you like to see in Advanced Warfare? Do you know anything about Advanced Warfare you think I should know? Hit me up in the comment section or on Facebook. Welcome everybody to my Lords of the Fallen review. It's your boy Wings of Redemption, and this footage might not look the greatest it possibly can. I tried my best to make it appeasable, but this is from my live stream and my internet connection is not very good, so I can't stream at the highest possible quality. But I want to go ahead and give you my review of Lord of the Fallen. I beat it just this morning, and I'm going to go ahead and give a solid review of the game because a lot of people have been asking me, everybody that came into the stream, everybody that watched me play the game, the number one question is the game worth the money? And I want to go ahead and address this in a video. So without further ado, let's go and get into this. The number one thing you'll notice about this game, straight out the box, or watching anything of online footage or Let's Plays, or anything you've read about on a review, you'll notice that everybody compares this game to Dark Souls. This game is without a doubt a 100% Dark Souls clone, which is not a bad thing. The reason it's not a bad thing is if you're like me, and I know a lot of people are, you're fiending for Dark Souls right now. Dark Souls is a great game. It came out, I think, in 2010 or 2011, and it was the spiritual successor of a game called Demon Souls, and recently Dark Souls 2 came out in 2014, I think. No, did it come? Yeah, it came out in 2014. And there's another sequel, which is going to be a PlayStation 4 exclusive, coming out called Bloodborne. And this is the first game, other than the From Software games, that are trying to cash in on the actual battle system of Dark Souls. The battle system of Dark Souls is everything that I love about the game. And this game doesn't disappoint. It does have a unique spin on the battle system. Lords of the Fallen is a more slowed down, it's a more tactical kind of setup. What I mean about that is where in Dark Souls you might fight 5 or 6 different hollows in an area, they will replace those 5 or 6 hollows with one strong enemy, such as the guy you see on the screen here. He's like a fat archer type enemy. And they'll just have 1 or 2 of those type enemies versus having 6 hollows. Which one is better? That's kind of hard to say. It leads for a more tactical approach in the game, and you have to play a little bit more tactically because most of the weapons in the game are very slow and sluggish unless you play an agility based build. From the beginning of the game, there's 3 types of builds that you can select from. There's a cleric, a warrior, and a rogue. At first glance, it might seem like all 3 of these choices are kind of pointless because you get all the armor classes within the first 10 minutes of the game. But the real big benefit is actually the spell select you use. You have the red spells are pretty much all warrior based. You regenerate health when you use your prayer spell. You don't use energy when you go into Berserker Rage. It's more of a warrior type build. The green one's more based on stealth. You have cloak, you have the ability to charge and do like a critical hit. You also have ability to get a doppelganger that kind of works with you and kills the enemies alongside of you. And the place I played my first playthrough was a cleric, which has the Solace thing. It has a protection / magic kind of like spell that also regenerates health. It has a spell that slows enemies down to the point of they're almost not moving. Very helpful spell. And then it has Retribution, which kind of stuns enemies when they hit you. And then there's a prayer, which regenerates magic attack while creating a decoy. So, very cool. One of the things I did not really like about the game is, look at this right here. Shelter. A protective spell that protects against incoming damage types and mirrors back incoming damage. This is all they gave you for this spell. And when you read this, do you think it's like, well, this is your health regeneration spell? I thought this was a protect spell and I ignored it through most of the game. But in the end, it's a very good spell. But that's part of the problem with this game, is that it seems like they really, really, really wanted to make a good game. And it seems like the people that made the game really, really enjoy playing video games. And they really wanted to combine a couple of their favorite series and make them into this wonderful game that's kind of story driven that you don't really see that often anymore. These are the type of games I've always enjoyed as a child. You know, sword and magic kind of games where you have to go through a linear story and you learn stuff about the characters and you have your own unique abilities. And like, partially thinks that the lack of co-op is a part of the game and why I'm a little bit more skeptical about it. But the overall end game of the self is just not polished. Originally, my first experience with this game was watching a guy named Christopher Odd play it. He got the game about 4 days early. He did a Let's Play on it, and he did it on the PC with the Xbox controller. And even on a really good PC, the game's performance is horrible. There's multiple tears throughout the game, especially in the void type areas where you constantly have visual tearing on the screen. The game came out of the gate with audio glitches. Sometimes the audio logs won't play themselves. The enemy AI gets stuck on itself all the time. There's obviously imbalances in all the character classes. For example, the cleric is the superior class to all 3 of them at this point, and I can say this with almost damn near certainty, mainly because the cleric has the ability to get the most experience. The cleric can pretty much stay out indefinitely, and that kind of roots with the system they have going on. Just like Dark Souls, they have a bonfire type system. And yes, I'm going to be referring to this game as Dark Souls a lot, or referring to like the idea of it as Dark Souls. But what it is every time you kill an enemy or you kill multiple enemies without dying, you get more and more experience from that enemy. That resets every time that you use a bonfire or save crystal, the big red crystal things. And what happens though is cleric never needs to use them. If you're a competent player and you have shelter, and once you get shelter up to like level 2, you could pretty much stay out indefinitely. I've gotten so much to say that I had like almost a double XP bonus throughout most of the game, just because I'd fight a battle, I'd be at half health, I'd throw shelter on, my mana would generate by the time I got to the next battle, and I'd be good to go. The warrior has a prayer, which is kind of similar to shelter, but it's not. It doesn't regenerate health near as fast, and you have to be around it, whereas shelter stays with you and you can walk around with it. You can see that there's certain aspects about the battle system that isn't quite as fun as Dark Souls. It seems like if you don't go out of your way to try to find a fast weapon, every weapon feels sluggish and almost unwieldy. As you can tell right here with the warrior, this is the first weapon that you get, and I end up jumping attacking a lot with it, mainly because it's just so slow, and like the attack of opportunity times for these characters the window is so small. It doesn't feel polished at all. It doesn't feel like anybody play tested the game, and it feels like the game was rushed out in an unfinished version. So much so as when I bought the game, I bought this game on the PlayStation Network, and I bought it as a digital download. And what happened was the game was 5 gigs long. I'm like, man, that must be a small ass game. Well, the game was 5 gigs total in size, and then they had a 5 gig patch to throw on top of that. That right there tells me that the game wasn't ready when it was released, and they're trying to beat the Call of Duty rush. This lack of polish on the game will lead enemies that are either pushovers or enemies that are borderline one-shotting you. I think the hardest boss in the game, in my opinion, was either Guardian or Antanas, but the Guardian is somewhere around the middle of the game, and every boss up to that point I had pretty much beat down on my first attempt, most of them taking less than 5 minutes. Then all of a sudden there's the Guardian, and he kills me 18 times on stream, and I end up having to use a DOT fire method to end up beating him at all, because my character's weapon was so slow, and I had one of the faster weapons in the game on. I just could not hit him. If I ever engaged with him in melee attacks, he would basically obliterate me. I'm sure there's people out there that can beat this guy with melee attacks, and I'm sure I just suck, but for the most part, it's uneven as all hell. The boss is just uneven as all hell. Another thing that happens is there's these wizard type guys, and these wizard type guys, they have an aura that they put on themselves, and it isn't really prominent. We had people on my live stream just looking at it and wondering what was one-shotting me, and I kind of realized what was one-shotting me was me. I mean, the guy puts like a damage veil on himself, and you can barely see it on him, and you end up one-shotting yourself. Things like that are really, really annoying, and I just don't feel like they balance the game or the progression of the game as well as they should. And the biggest complaint I have about this game is that it is very, very, very tough to figure out where to go in certain parts of the game. For example, right after the Worshipper boss fight, you have to go into the Rogar Lord area. That's the first one. But you could go sidetrack into the Crypt area, which is a way higher level area, because that's the one linear in the path in front of you. It's frustrating. They should have a better objective system built into this game. So the real question of this game is this: is the game worth the money? Is the game worth your money? I would have to say no. This game is not a $60 game. The reason this game is not a $60 game is it's a single-player only experience that is very linear. The game itself feels like a PS3 game that they at the last minute decided, hey, we should release this on the PS4. And they had the development team scramble to kind of make an HD version of the game that they made for the PS3. I think that might be the case, mainly because of the size I talked about, how the game was 5 gigabytes in total, and then they had another 5 gigabyte patch coming out. I believe the game you bought on disc was the PS3 game, and the game that you got when you put the game in is the like HD texture pack over top of the PS3 game. The game is very short. If you play the game flawlessly and you go from point A to point B, you could probably beat this game in about, I don't know, 2 maybe 3 hours in total. The enemies are pretty much universal all the way throughout the game. There's never like a linear progression where the enemies just naturally get harder. You'll be fighting enemies you fought in the very first part of the cathedral all the way to the very end part of the cathedral here. Obviously, these are new enemies I'm fighting with my cleric. These are the in-game enemies, but they're essentially just different palette swap versions of the Rogar that you fight at the beginning of the game. They even have the same type of attacks. The game itself has a lot of good motives in it, but I feel like it's The Legend of Alundar all over again. It's a PS3 game. They marketed it for the PS4 and the Xbox One. The PC was a port, and it was a second-hand port to begin with. There's anti-aliasing problems, there's tearing problems, there's slowdown problems. The game is unpolished and finished. There's bugs right out the gate, and the fact is they're relying on patches to fix the game as it sits. It's hard to navigate the maps. All the areas feel and look the same, and they reuse areas abundantly, almost to the point of Dragon Age 2. The combat system is very fun. The combat system is very rewarding, and you will enjoy the game the 2 or 3 days that you do play it. But I would highly, highly suggest that you do not pay $60 for this game. Catch it on sale. Rent the game. Pay $25 about 4 months from now when this game plummets in price. I'm not the kind of person that likes to diss, people, especially small development companies, and I want to see more games like this come out. I really, 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 really do. But the fact is, putting a $60 price tag on games just because you think the game's worth $60, just because you think you might be able to snicker some people out of $60 like me, hee-haw, is underhanded in my book. You should have marketed this game at the very beginning at $40 because you made a $40 game. This game is worth about $25 if you want to own it, but I suggest renting the game or getting the game on a Steam sale because this game is not optimized for PC, and it's a console game that was built for the last generation consoles that kind of came out on the front. But I can't say that for certain, but everything points in that direction. Other than that, it's a fun game. The spells are wonky. I don't like how the spells are cast. Like, you always have this like red guy that comes out and he makes some sort of move, and like the intro has fucking no meaning compared to most of the rest of the fucking game, from what I could tell. And it has a little bit of a twist ending toward right around the middle. So with all that information, you can conclude if you want to buy the game or not. I enjoyed playing it the 2 or 3 days I have played it, and it wasn't really popular on Steam or wasn't real popular on the streams. But overall, it's a competent game, but it's not a finished game, if that makes sense. It's been your boy Wings of Redemption, and I'm Audi 5000. Peace, pimps.